Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole with Alice Hatter. Today's episode is titled Fossils and Crayons. My name is Alice Hatter, and I was born and raised in New Orleans. I left UNC after the first semester was over. Getting pulled over left me pretty salty. I even had to get a lawyer. I needed to get out of state. Plus, Greeley smelled like a cow turd, and that was putting it kindly. The only things in Greeley are UNC and some slaughterhouse. The people there told me they burned the blood on Thursday, and that's why Thursdays always smelled the worst. I had to get out. I moved back to New Orleans, where I attended the University of New Orleans. I changed my major 4 times in college. You could say I'm a multifaceted student. I majored in journalism first, then I realized that wasn't for me. Then I switched to business and marketing, but I really disliked accounting. I was like, hey, if I turn into a psychology major, maybe I'll learn something about myself, and maybe I'll learn what I want to do. So I went to the psychology department at UNO, changed my major. I had to have a science elective, so I enrolled in an earth and environmental science class, just introductory, and I had this really awesome teacher. I was like, wait, this is the coolest class ever. It makes the world make sense. I need a major in this. So my final major was earth and environmental science. I took my time in college. It took me 6 years to finish undergrad. It was not for lack of effort, more for a lack of guidance. I had no clue what I wanted to do for the rest of my life at 18 years old. But eventually I found where I belonged. I belonged among rock people, and among rock people is where I stayed for many years. Rock people are hilarious. I highly recommend you include a few in your life. Everything in geology is a joke, like cleavage. Just a bunch of guys making jokes. I friggin' love rocks. And I obviously friggin' love jokes. You guys, how much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice, y'all. Right? But I didn't grow up being some kind of kid who was obsessed with rocks. My first rock experience involved my mother's fossil collection. My mom had these dinosaur fossils in a bag. They lived on the bookshelf in the living room. I'm not sure how old I was. I was maybe 5 or 6 years old. That would be my guess. I used to go and look at these fossils frequently when nobody was around. I would run my finger over the fossilized imprint and look at the cards in the Ziploc bag. I wasn't great at reading at the time, so I can't remember what the cards said, but one day I was feeling really creative, and my mom was in the shower or something. I just got these brand new crayons from the store. The big box of Crayolas with the sharpener in the back? I was really excited about these crayons, and I really loved the fossils she had on the bookshelf. I really wanted to draw all over these things. I couldn't help myself. As a kid growing up, I would get these random impulses to do things that you should never, ever do. And I would actually do them. Like one time I was at my childhood friend's house and we were roughhousing, and I was into it, man. I was so into it, I hacked a loogie on my best friend's dad's head. All roughhousing after that commenced. As soon as the loogie hit my best friend dad's head, it was over. He was furious. I was in timeout really, really quick, you guys. Really quick. Anyway, back to the fossils. So my mom was in the shower and I just got these banging new crayons. I'd always wanted to draw all over these fossils, right? Today was the day I was going to destroy my mom's fossil collection. Now, I didn't know I was destroying them at first, or even at the time. I didn't know I was destroying them at the time. I just thought it was going to look fun and pretty. So I got these fossils off the bookshelf, and I got my brand new box of crayons. I went and I sat down on the monkey rug, and I started creating a masterpiece. I went over the outline of the imprint of the fossils in green. I then grabbed yellow because they needed a little bit more yellow. Then I got some red in there. Oh, and pink. Don't forget the pink. They looked magnificent. I was so excited to show my mom the art I'd made. It was so epic. This was a game-changing design. I had to show her. I ran to her room. Mom, look. Isn't this beautiful? Her face went from happy to shook in seconds. She looked at me. Oh, honey, what'd you do? Her face didn't look great. It was not happy, I was like, come see. So I showed her how I created these amazing masterpieces with my crayons. I was a genius. But to my surprise, my mom was not thrilled. She didn't yell at me or anything. She kindly sat me down and explained what fossils were and why we don't draw on rocks that are millions of years old. She explained to me that they're special and we need to preserve them. The young artist in me was quite disappointed, but the budding geologist in me was quite intrigued. Fossils. Millions of years old. Dinosaurs? Cool. I think it's funny how I became an earth and environmental scientist and gemologist, looking back on how I could have drawn on anything in the house, but I chose the fossils, I'll always choose rocks and minerals. I love them dearly. I have an uncle in Maine. He's a rock uncle, that is. He gave me a rock pick. He told me if I ever lose my way, return to the rocks. I still have that rock pick, and I still love that quote dearly. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for tuning in.